Welcome to today's deep dive. We'll be exploring Blindness by José Saramago.
Oh, yeah,
It's pretty intense and thought-provoking.
definitely.
Some of you might be thinking a whole deep dive on just one book. But this
Maybe-
isn't your typical novel, trust me. It throws you right into this world dealing with a pandemic of blindness.
Mm.
And from there, it just explores so much about human nature and society.
Yeah, and what's so fascinating is Saramago doesn't just tell you a story.
Right.
He builds this intricate allegory using blindness
Yeah.
to expose the ways we're all blind even when we can see.
It's true. And the style he uses,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
almost like stream of consciousness. No chapters, minimal punctuation, very few names. It's like
Yeah.
you're inside the characters' heads, experiencing everything with them.
Totally. That style just
Yeah.
immerses you in the confusion the
Yeah.
characters are feeling.
Yeah.
Right from the start when that man goes blind at the traffic light,
Oh, yeah.
you feel that rug pulled out from under you.
Yeah.
You're left trying to figure out what's going on.
And that opening scene,
Oh,
it's so well done. This oppressive white blindness,
yeah.
not just darkness.
Oh,
It
yeah.
really heightens that sense of fear of the unknown.
It's true.
And the way it spreads so fast, like a ripple.
Yeah.
First the car thief, then the ophthalmologist.
Yeah.
It's so tense and dreadful.
And what I think is so striking is how Saramago uses these early moments
Right.
to introduce the characters who are central to the story.
Yeah.
The doctor, his wife,
The girl with the dark glasses.
the old man with the eye patch.
The boy with the squint.
Each of them embodies a different response to the crisis.
And then the government's response. The quarantine in this old asylum.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like a dystopian nightmare. Like
Yeah.
they're not even trying to help. Just contain the problem and hope it disappears.
It's a reflection of how those in power react to crises. Fear
Yeah.
takes over. And it's
Yeah.
less about care and compassion and more about
Control.
control. Exactly.
Okay.
The asylum becomes this microcosm of society.
Yeah.
This pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Where all the social structures
Right.
and hierarchies get warped.
And Saramago uses that contained environment to show us human nature under pressure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
We see the chaos, the struggle for basic resources,
Mhm.
the emergence of the gang led by the King of Ward 3.
Yeah, that game is a perfect example
Oh, yeah.
of how power dynamics play out in extreme situations.
Mm-hmm.
They take advantage of everyone using fear and violence to control the food.
Totally.
Uh-huh.
It's a reminder that even without sight,
Right.
people find ways to manipulate and exert power over each other.
It's scary how fast things fall apart. It makes you wonder how any of us would react.
Oh, I know, right? Would we give in to those instincts
Yeah.
or find a way to hold on to our humanity?
It's a question Saramago forces us to face.
Hmm.
And he doesn't give us any easy answers.
No,
Yeah.
he doesn't. His characters aren't all good or all bad. They're flawed,
Yeah.
capable of both compassion and cruelty. It's that nuance that makes the book so compelling.
And then you have the doctor's wife. She's so interesting because she's the only one who can still see,
Right.
but she has to hide it to survive.
It's such a unique situation. So much tension.
Right?
She's this silent observer,
Right.
witnessing the horrors, but unable to do anything.
Imagine that. Seeing it all and having to stay quiet.
It's hard to even fathom.
Yeah, she's incredibly strong and resourceful to make it as long as she does.
She is.
But you see that secret, the burden of sight starts to weigh on her.
Oh, absolutely.
And then she makes the decision to kill the gang leader.
Yeah,
Such a brutal act, but it also feels necessary.
it does.
Eh.
It's like she's reached her limit. She can't watch the suffering anymore.
It's morally complex, too.
Right.
On one hand, it's violence. On the other, it's defiance, protecting the vulnerable.
Mhm.
It's one of those moments where you have to think about right and wrong in a world without order.
It really challenges your perspective.
It does. And that defiance leads to their escape from the asylum. But what they find outside is even more terrifying.
Oh.
The blindness has spread. The entire city is now in darkness.
Wow. So the asylum was just a taste of what was to come.
Exactly. When they emerge and see the city, it's so impactful. It raises the stakes.
It does.
And it sets the stage for what's next.
And it really highlights the fragility of civilization.
Yeah.
The blindness exposes all the cracks in our society.
So we've seen how the blindness unfolds, throws the city into chaos, and exposes human nature at its worst. But what happens next? How do they live in this new world where sight is gone?
Right. That's what we're going to dive into next.
We left off with our group escaping that asylum,
Right.
only to find the blindness is everywhere.
Yeah. It's like the whole city's become a nightmare.
Totally. And for them, it's just survival every day.
Hmm.
They're facing hunger, violence, disease. It's a
Man.
lot. The doctor's wife with her sight becomes their guide.
Oh, yeah.
But even she is struggling to cope.
It's interesting how Saramago uses her
Right.
to explore that double edge of sight.
Yeah.
It gives her an advantage. She can see the dangers, the resources that others can't.
Mm.
But she also sees how bad things really are.
Right. She sees the ugliness that others are spared. And she's got the weight of this group on her shoulders.
Yeah.
The doctor struggling with his helplessness.
Right.
The old man searching for meaning in all this.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl and the boy clinging to each other.
It's like each character shows a different way of dealing with this catastrophe.
Hope, despair.
Right. But they're all bound together now.
Mm-hmm.
It shows how much we need each other.
One thing that's really disturbing is
Huh.
how Saramago shows human interaction breaking down.
Oh, yeah.
People are just reduced to their instincts, fighting for scraps, stealing. There's the scene in a supermarket. They're hoping to find food, but it's chaos.
I remember that.
Blind people clashing in the dark.
It's such a powerful image. The collapse of society, all the rules are gone.
It makes you think what you'd do in that situation.
It does. Would you hold on to your morals? Or just do what you had to survive?
And the doctor's wife, she's constantly making these tough choices.
Yeah.
She has to steal, lie, cheat, just to protect her group.
Right.
It raises the question of, is morality even real?
Are there absolutes, or does it all depend on the situation?
That's a huge question.
It is. And Saramago doesn't give us easy answers.
No, he doesn't. He just shows us these complex situations
Right, yeah.
and makes us confront the dilemmas.
Yeah, it's all shades of gray.
And you really feel the doctor's wife struggling with this.
Oh, yeah.
She's haunted by the things she has to do, even though she knows it's for the right reasons.
She's caught between two worlds, the world of sight and the world of blindness.
It's a heavy burden.
It is. And Saramago conveys that so well.
He does.
Without judging her or explaining it away.
But even in all this darkness, there are these flickers of humanity. The girl and the boy, the way the doctor's wife helps strangers.
It's like those moments are brighter.
Right.
Because of how dark everything else is.
Right. They show that even in the worst times, people can still be good.
They do.
There's that moment when they find the doctor's apartment.
Right.
For a while, they have shelter, food. A chance to just breathe.
But even then,
yeah,
it can't last.
That feeling of danger never goes away.
Saramago keeps us on edge, reminding us that there are no guarantees.
And all of it takes a toll on them.
Oh, yeah.
They're all traumatized. The doctor's wife especially. It's like her sight has become a curse.
She's seen too much.
Right.
It's wearing her down.
But then there's a change. The girl with the dark glasses.
What happened?
She wakes up one morning and shouts, "I can see!"
Wow.
It's both amazing and scary.
It is. It could be a new beginning,
Right.
but what will they see now?
And how will it affect the group?
Especially the doctor's wife.
Right. She's not the only one who can see anymore.
It makes you think.
It does. Sight returning isn't a simple solution.
No, it's just the start of a whole new chapter.
And that chapter's probably going to be just as hard.
Just as morally complex.
And that's what makes blindness so powerful.
Totally. It doesn't give us easy answers.
It makes us think about human nature.
Right.
About civilization. About what it means to truly see. So we've seen them go through this blind world.
Well, yeah.
Facing the chaos, the moral choices, the trauma. But what happens when sight starts to return?
Right.
How do they cope with the aftermath? And what have they learned?
That's what we'll explore next.
So we've been in this world of blindness,
Right.
seeing it all fall apart. But now things are shifting in blindness.
Yeah.
It's not like suddenly everything's okay.
No.
It's more like a slow return of the light.
What's interesting is that Saramago doesn't make sight coming back. This simple victory.
Yeah.
It's gradual and uncertain, and it comes with new problems.
It's like that saying, you can't unsee things.
Right.
Even though they're not blind anymore, they're changed by what they went through.
Exactly. The city's coming back to life, but it's scarred.
Yeah.
There's debris, buildings are damaged, and there's this feeling that things aren't right.
And the characters, they have these deep scars, too.
Oh, yeah.
You see it with the doctor. He can practice medicine again.
Right.
But he feels guilty about being helpless during the epidemic. He can heal bodies, but the emotional wounds are harder.
It's like Saramago showing us that sight isn't everything.
Yeah.
Even with his vision, the doctor can't fix everything.
There's more to healing than just the physical.
Definitely.
And the old man with the eye patch, he's always been thoughtful.
Right.
But now his words about life and civilization,
Yeah.
they hit even harder.
It's like the blindness stripped away all pretense.
Mm-hmm.
He sees humanity for what it is.
He's become this voice of wisdom,
Right.
seeing through the surface of things.
He knows that just rebuilding isn't enough.
Yeah.
They need to face what the blindness revealed.
And what about the girl with the dark glasses? She was so strong, protecting the boy, guiding others. How does she adjust to seeing again?
She's different now.
Right.
There's this fierceness in her.
Yeah.
Like she's protecting the memory of what they went through.
So the lessons aren't forgotten.
Exactly.
The dynamic between her and the doctor's wife changes.
Oh, yeah.
She's not the only one with sight anymore.
It's a big adjustment for her.
Right?
There's relief.
Right.
She's not alone, but also a sense of loss.
Yeah.
Her whole identity was tied to being the one who could see.
Now she has to figure out who she is.
Right.
And it's then that she says that line.
Which one?
Were we not already blind before we were blind?
Oh, yeah.
It makes you question what it really means to see.
It does. Are we blind to suffering, to injustice?
Right.
Even when we can physically see.
As the city rebuilds, the doctor's wife sees things going back to how they were.
Oh, no.
The same power struggles, the same indifference to others.
It's like the blindness didn't change anything.
It's a hard truth to face that maybe human nature doesn't change that easily.
And Saramago seems to be pointing that out.
Mm-hmm.
We make the same mistakes over and over.
Right. He's saying that to really see, we need more than just our eyes.
We need to be aware, to question ourselves.
Exactly, to confront our own blindness.
And then in the last scene,
yeah.
there's this powerful moment. The doctor's wife, she starts to feel her vision blurring.
Oh.
It leaves you wondering, is she going blind? Or is it something else?
It's brilliant. Saramago doesn't give us a clear answer.
Right.
He makes us think, what does it mean to see? Can we escape the blindness inside us?
It's an unsettling ending.
It is. But it makes you think.
It does. It leaves you with the feeling that the journey isn't over.
Right.
That the struggle to see is something we're always doing.
Blindness isn't just about a pandemic or even about sight.
Yeah.
It's about what it means to be human.
Our capacity for good and bad.
Right.
And trying to understand this complex world. This deep dive has been a journey exploring Saramago's world, but also our own ways of seeing. I keep thinking about that question.
Were we already blind?
Yeah. It makes me want to look at my own blind spots.
Yeah. My own assumptions. And try to see things in a new way.
That's the power of great books. They challenge us.
Yeah.
To make us think and help us see the world more clearly.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, keep trying to see beyond the surface.